Morning, folks. So, right, so today started off not a very good day, basically. So for the last, well, I guess since just before Christmas, roughly, give or take, that financially, things have been not too bad. I've been managing quite well, and been having a nice little bit of spare cash to go and travel to different places like Manchester and so on, and this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. And so, financially, like I said, everything's been ticking along quite nicely. I mean, not been like, sort of like tons and tons of money or whatever sort of thing, but just, ticking over nicely, you know what I mean? Just, managing to keep myself in food and spotting food and, keep myself in fags. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of people say, well, maybe you should give up smoking. Anyway, I don't want to get into all the ins and outs of stuff like that. But anyway, basically, at the end of the day, today, for the first time since about just before Christmas, I had no money because basically, I mean, Pret paid me, and paid me my usual amount, That was all fine and good, but it's all gone on bills and everything else, and I've been left with nothing. So absolutely nothing to live on again for a whole week, at least a week. I don't even know. I mean, like at the moment, it's in the red by £217. £217. So even if I get £180, mind you, I don't know. Maybe I'll have something next week. I don't honestly know, to be quite honest, the way things are shaping up. Anyway, so obviously that's put me on a big downer, because now it means I can't buy any food. I mean, I've still got some food in the house, and that could possibly last me for a week, but I've got no bread, got no milk. Yeah, so anyway, this week is going to be extremely tough one way or another. Also means I won't be able to really go anywhere. Mind you, I wasn't sure what I was going to do this weekend anyway, to be quite honest. But anyway, the thing is that so now I've got to try and deal with that, and also deal with my emotional reaction to that, which is not always the easiest thing to deal with me. But anyway, thing is that, like, also on a positive note, a couple of things I want to say is, so today, later on today after work, around about 4:30, I'm going to meet John. I haven't seen John in, I don't know how long, to be quite honest. Well, it was sometime last year anyway, I think. Not even sure of that now, to be quite honest, but so at least that's something. I haven't seen John in ages. I've mentioned him before, mentioned him in a video just recently. And for those that aren't aware, John Connolly is a guy that works with the homeless. He's a mental health professional, and I've worked alongside John for many years. It's like, it'd be really nice to see him, and I used to love our little chats. And it's funny, it's kind of fortuitous in a way that, like, I'll be seeing him today, considering that, like, this has happened, because that means that, at least I've got somebody I can just, have a chat to, sort of thing, and that helps a lot, to be quite honest, especially when I've had a chat with John, because he's such a really positive person, I believe, and and just having a chat with John usually helps me anyway. Usually lifts my mood, and he usually puts a positive spin on stuff, and it just helps me out a hell of a lot. So that'll be nice to see John and have a chat and have a catch up. And also, the other thing to mention, that I possibly have not mentioned in any of my videos, and this was about a week ago, maybe getting on for 2 weeks ago, I can't quite remember, and I don't know if I've mentioned it in any of my videos yet, actually, and I must admit, now that I think about it, I'm kind of not sure why I didn't mention it. I think I was meaning to, but for one reason or another it just kept on escaping me. But anyway, so about 2 weeks ago I got a knock on my kitchen window. It was like, sat at home, can't remember what day of the week it was now off the top of my head, but it was a weekday. Been on from work at that point for a good couple of hours. I was watching YouTube. I think I was watching Young Turks at that point, actually, and anyway, there was a knock on the kitchen window. I'm thinking, what the heck, who's that? Anyway, it turns out it's Joanne. Yeah, so Joanne was there. So anyway, you know, she came in and we had a chat and a natter and everything, and yeah, so that was really nice, because like it was nice to see her, and you know, we had chinwag and blah 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 and nice little catch up and what have you, and as a consequence of that, she's asked me if I'll do her garden for her again, like I did last time. And you guys probably have seen the video where I've done her garden. I've done her garden a couple of times now, and you know, it's not a massive garden, it's only a little garden, and it just needs the weeds doing and what have you, sort of thing. And I'm more than happy to do it, and also she said that she'll pay me for doing it. Now, she doesn't have to, she really doesn't, and I mean that 100%. She doesn't have to pay me, and I've said that to her on countless of occasions before, but inevitably on those occasions, like now, financially I've been in, you know, a bit of dire straits kind of thing. So, you know, the fact that she'd offered to pay me at the end of the day, and it's, you know, about 20 quid or whatever, I don't know exactly, but and that to me is fair enough, you know what I mean. 20 quid's fine, do you know what I mean? You know, I don't expect any more than that. That's absolutely fine. But like I said, I mean, you know, if financially I was still, everything was fine and all the rest of it, I wouldn't mind doing it for nothing. It wouldn't bother me. It really wouldn't. You know, I don't mind doing her garden for her if you want, you know, if she wants me to. That's absolutely fine. I mean, to be quite honest, it'd be nice to have the company, do you know what I mean, and just have the chinwag and catch up and all the rest of it, do you know what I mean, if nothing else, do you know what I mean. So, you know, she doesn't really have to pay me. I'm not really bothered about that necessarily, but like I say, obviously, again, it's kind of fortuitous in a way, because obviously financially I find myself in this situation now. So, you know, 20 quid will flipping certainly help me get some milk and bread and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's funny how things work out, isn't it? It's funny the way life works at times, yeah, so anyway, the main thing at the moment is I've got to now work on how I'm feeling right now, because that for me is always the hardest part of my daily existence, to be quite honest, working on how I feel about stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because my emotions can be so intense at times. Do you know what I mean? I feel my emotions so intensely, and it's difficult maybe for people to grasp or understand and get a sense of what that means and what that looks like. But you know, the thing is, it's like somebody once described the diagnosis that I have as like an emotional burns victim. So imagine somebody with first-degree burns all over their body, sort of thing. The slightest little touch, even just lying on a bed or something, or somebody just even just gently touching their skin would be extremely painful, sort of thing. And that's how I experience my emotions. I experience them in a very intense way. And you know, that's just my biology more than anything. That's just a biological fact, and I have to really work hard to try and keep those emotions on a more even keel, and that in itself is hard work, you know. And that's why I always say I have to work really hard to try and stay positive, because it's really hard at times, because the emotions are so intense that it's difficult. I get overwhelmed by them, do you know what I mean? I mean, I maybe mentioned this, but a long time ago, when I was a kid, I was frightened to death of my emotions, and I actually seriously believed, that when I was a child, obviously I don't believe that now, but when I was a child, I used to believe that my emotions would kill me, literally kill me if I experienced them. So you know, because of the intensity of those emotions, and they used to frighten me. Used to frighten me to death. Do you know what I mean? I was scared stiff of my emotions because the thing is that I got so overwhelmed by them. I literally thought I'd have a heart attack and die or something. Do you know what I mean? And now that might sound ridiculous now. Do you know what I mean? But I really believed that as a kid. I really, really believed that. And I was terrified of my emotions. And so, like I say, you know, now I've got to try and work on this now and try to get my head to try and see the positive side of stuff, and not focus on, you know, the fact that, like, oh shit, it's going to be a really hard week, and like, I've got no money and I've got no food and blah 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 and this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah, you know, and also the fact that, like, in some ways it feels like I'm working for nothing. Do you know what I mean? I think I work really hard. I mean, I'm not saying I work harder than anybody else in that shop or anything like that, far from it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that, like, you know, I'm like the most conscientious worker in the whole world or something. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that either. But what I'm saying is I think I pull my fair share, and I think I work fairly hard. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes I do go above and beyond a little bit. Do you know what I mean? You know, but like I say, I'm not trying to paint myself as like some sort of flipping saint here or something. You know, I'm not. But you know, you do a hard day's work, and it's not prep. It's not prep because it's not down to them, because they paid me a fair wage, well, reasonably so. I mean, you could argue that like, yeah, maybe the minimum should be £15, like the Americans are pushing for $15 an hour, aren't they? So you could argue that sort of thing, but anyway, again, that's all. What's them? But basically, you know, I think I've been paid fairly. You know what I mean? So it's nothing to do with that, and it's nothing to do with prep. It's just the fact that, like, other stuff comes into it, and then like bills and this, that and the other, and the flipping universal credit thing, and I mean the universal credit, they paid me 200 and something, and that's a month. Do you know what I mean? That's a month. 200 and I forget what it was off the top of my head. 200 and something, whatever it was. You know, my rent for my flat is £500 and odd a month. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, sorry. I mean, you know, I could go into a load of sort of like financial stuff and say, like, oh, maybe I should be more frugal, maybe I should save, maybe I should do this, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And I've had millions of those conversations with people, and I'm not saying that they're wrong, they're absolutely spot on and right. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just not the best, you know, at dealing with my finances. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm completely irresponsible necessarily, because I think these days I'm way more responsible in terms of my money than I used to be. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, again, it's like I don't necessarily want to get into a big conversation about that. I'm standing right in the middle of a public square with every Tom, Dick and Harry listening to me right now. Yeah, I know. But anyway, boy. So, like I said, at the moment I'm just trying to get my head around this and try to get myself in a positive frame of mind, and try not to look too negatively at the situation. Do you know what I mean? My arm is starting to really ache. Ouch. My arm's hurting me. Right, okay, I think I've ranted on enough. This has definitely been some kind of rant, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? So alright, so for the time being I'm going to leave it there, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now. Hiya folks, I just had to look at this guy here. I don't know if he's a real soldier or if he's just like in fancy dress for some sort of promotional thing or something, but well, this dude in full military regalia. Flipping heck, I have no idea what he's up to. I have no idea whether it's a real uniform or not.
They always say yes.
So, yeah.
They always say yes today.
Religious dude. Why he's dressed as a military gear for, I don't know. Yeah. So,
Have a good day.
kind of fascinating. But yeah, definitely not soldier then. Yeah, definitely not. Oh, it's a fairly certain. Right, okay. I'll leave it there for now, folks. I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now. Hi, folks. Again, yeah, no, sorry. I just spotted another dude over here. There's a couple of them, but they seem to be giving out some sort of like religious pamphlets or something. I'm not even entirely sure. I'm going to grab one, so I'm curious now. I want to see what it's all about. Thank you. Cheers. Oh, for crying out loud. What? Why did I think it was a religious thing? He sounded like he was talking about some sort of religion. I couldn't, mind you, with all the noise around me and stuff, I couldn't hear it properly. Ted Baker. There's a shop here somewhere. Where is it? So there's a shop here, Ted Baker or something. What is it? It's St James's Park. Buckingham Green. Right, so Ted's grooming, is that grooming? I can't read that properly. Grooming room? Is it grooming room or something? So Ted shaved the king, 50% off walk-in services only for full treatment details, blah blah blah. So that's what it is. I said it was some sort of promotional thing, didn't I? I thought maybe it was that. You know what I mean? Because like you wouldn't get like I'm not sure what regiment they are actually. The Busbies, they call, well, that's what they used to call them. I don't know. I mean, it's a bearskin hat, but the sort of like one of the nicknames, if you like, one of the nicknames for that hat that he's wearing is a Busby. I forget why or where the term comes from. My dad told me years ago about that. And like I say, I'm not sure what regiment it actually is. Is it Guards? Not entirely sure. Household Cavalry? Not entirely sure actually, off the top of my head. But anyway, when I saw the first one over there near our shop, I thought there's no way he's a proper soldier, because like they just wouldn't, and especially dressed the way they are. Do you know what I mean? If they were going to do some sort of promotional thing themselves or whatever, they'd be just wearing the normal fatigues. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't wear the ceremonial garb that he's wearing. Flipping heck, man. You know, sometimes walking in the streets of London, particularly at rush hour, is like trying to go against the flow of a river. You know, like they're all just like coming towards you like this. Do you know what I mean? And you're trying to vlog, and you got your arm right out extended in front of you. You know, it's just wow. But yeah, so like I said, I just had this suspicion, this feeling that wasn't like a proper well, I said I don't know about the uniform. It looks like a very good copy of one, to be quite honest. I would suspect it's not an actual real army uniform. I would imagine. Because I wouldn't imagine that's something that's that easy to get hold of. I mean, something that's like made to look like it. Do you know what I mean? Like what you get in a costume shop or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But it wouldn't be an actual uniform in that sense. Yeah, no. So anyway, we solved that little mystery. I was rather curious, and because like I say, when I first heard the guy over there. Because of all the traffic noise and all the rest of it, I couldn't quite hear what he was saying, and for some reason I thought I heard him speaking about religion or something. At least that's what I thought I heard him saying or talking about. But obviously I was completely wrong about that. So, but yeah, interesting. And I must admit, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure how I feel about it really, to be quite honest. You know, I mean, I get it. Do you know what I mean? I get the fact that, like, you know, it's a good gimmick. it's a good gimmick. You know what I mean? It makes people stop and look, and it, you know, it'll attract people to you because, like me, you know, curiosity more than anything. Do you know what I mean? You think like, oh, what's that guy all about? What's going on there then? Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, trying to go against the flow, man. It's literally like trying to go against the river. You know, the flow of a river, but obviously there's a river of people instead. Do you know what I mean? You know, unless you're going in that direction, you know, then, you know, I guess that's easy enough. But once you're going against the flow, sort of thing, it does make it a little bit more difficult to vlog. I mean, never mind just walking in the opposite direction to that anyway. Do you know what I mean? But add on top of that, you know, doing a vlog is even more difficult. So anyway, right, not sure what the time is right this minute. Seems particularly busy today. Some days seem more busy than others. I mean, it is Thursday, but anyway, maybe Thursday is the new Friday, eh? Oh dear, and Friday is the new Saturday. No, just making that up. Right, so yeah, anyway, sorry, I was just thinking, to myself, like I said, because I mean, like everything I say, and I always quantify stuff with, there's caveats to stuff, you know what I mean? Because, like, things are never straightforward or simple, particularly with human beings. Human beings are the most complex creatures you'll ever come across, I reckon. But anyway, what I'm trying to allude to, what I'm trying to get to, essentially, is that overall, I have great respect for our armed forces. Overall, I don't, the individual men and women anyway, at least, do you know what I mean? I have great respect and admiration for the stuff that they do, essentially, the sacrifices that they make and so forth and what have you. But in terms of, like, the whole idea behind armies and soldiers and the purpose of them and war and all the rest of it, then obviously I'm really against all that. Do you know what I mean? But the individual men and women that serve in the armed forces and stuff, I have great respect for, and I hate to see them being disrespected. Do you know what I mean? Because I think they do a thankless task, to be quite honest, essentially, at the behest of, you know, other powers that, like, anyway, again, I don't want to get into a big flipping what's name. It's too early in the morning, but so I've got mixed feelings about seeing those guys dressed that way. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, all it is a commercial gimmick to them. It's a commercial, it's a commercial way of, you know, trying to promote whatever. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, so I've got mixed feelings on it. In some ways I get it and I can see how, you know, it's a clever idea in a sense, you know what I mean, and what have you, sort of thing. But, like I said, another part of me is kind of like, but, you know, hang on, you know, you're wearing a uniform that, you know, or at least well, I'd say it's not, more than likely it's not the actual real thing, as I said, obviously, you know, be a costume of some description, but anyway, again, going off the point, but yeah, in some ways, to me, it seems a little bit disrespectful to me. So, you know, yeah, I kind of mixed feelings about that, to be quite honest. Anywho, right, okay, I've no idea what the time is, and I really need to head back into work. See, look, that corner now is virtually deserted at the minute, and then there'll be another sort of flow of hundreds and hundreds of hordes of people going past. I was just trying to vlog on the corner there just then, and it was virtually impossible. There was just too many people. You know what I mean? They're all swarming around me, and I'm trying to vlog, and anyway, right, waffle as usual. Right, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now. Okay folks, so to carry on from where I left off this morning, and to carry on the theme of the other day when I was in Soho Square, because that's where we are right now, and the outside office, as me and John christened it, which is right there in front of us. And yeah, so I'm going to be meeting John there in about another hour, I think, roughly. I'm not sure exactly what the time is right now. I think it's about, I'm going to say about 3:15-ish, give or take. And I'm supposed to be meeting John round about R4. So yeah, so I may do a little vlog with us in it. If he wants to be in a little vlog, I don't know. He might not. He has been in videos before. I've even interviewed him in my house. I even interviewed him, but I don't know if that's on the main channel actually. I think that's on my. You know, I can't even remember the name of the other channel now. Flipping it. That shows you how long since I used it or posted anything to it. Anyway, for the life of me, it escapes me for a minute. But yeah, the interview with John, I think it's only on that one. I don't think it's on the main channel actually, thinking about it. But anyway, yeah, so I interviewed John one time in my house. So yeah, I'm going to be meeting him here in about an hour. So alright, for the time being, I'll leave it there and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now.